Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you the 40 best features of the Asus Zenfone 5Z. Now usually I club the tips and tricks section with this video as well, but I've made a separate video on that. Link will be in the description. Check that video for sure. Now first I'll be covering the hardware stuff and then I'll be talking only about the software features. So if you're bored anywhere, just skip ahead. Now the first best thing about this phone is definitely performance. This phone supports a Snapdragon 845 processor with Adreno 630 GPU, with the base variant sporting 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. These are the Antutu and Geekbench cores. Now this phone, as you might have already known, is a beast in terms of performance, and it is having the latest and the best processor from Snapdragon, so in terms of performance or the gaming experience, you really don't have to worry about it. Now the next best thing about this phone would be the display. This phone packs a massive 6.2-inch Super IPS Plus display with Full HD Plus resolution, a 90% screen to body ratio with 550 nits of brightness. Now specs aside, display is actually pretty good. Colors look slightly saturated, blacks are pretty good, and even the sunlight legibility is pretty great. On the whole, a pretty good display, but as always, I still wish it had an AMOLED display. Now the next best thing about this phone would be the stereo speakers. Nowadays there are very few phones out there that offer you stereo speakers, and this is one of those very few phones. This phone offers you dual speakers, one at the bottom and one at the earpiece, and they are super loud. It's even louder than my Pixel 2, which also comes with stereo speakers. Now here's a quick preview. Next, this phone has pretty good cameras. Now, I wouldn't say they are the best in the price segment or the best in the world, but they are pretty good for the price. On the rear, it comes with the dual camera setup with a 12 megapixel primary camera with Sony IMX363 sensor with f1.8 aperture with dual pixel autofocus, and even on the front, it has an 8 megapixel front facing camera with f2.0 aperture and 83-degree field of view. Next, it also has a wide angle camera. Nowadays, most of the phones come with a dual camera setup, but most of the time, it's either used for depth sensing or optical zoom. But this phone comes with an 8 megapixel wide angle camera with f2.2 aperture with 120-degree field of view. Now all these are the sample pictures taken using the wide angle camera, which are following the pictures taken using the primary camera. Next we have the portrait mode for both the front and rear cameras. Now for the rear camera portrait shots, we can actually change the amount of blur effect we want before taking a picture. Now that's a pretty interesting feature that very few phones offer. For the front camera, we can't do that, but we do get good portrait shots. These are all the sample pictures. Next, this phone comes with fast charging. Now like any other decent flagship out there, even this one supports fast charging and also comes with a fast charger right inside the box. And this is how it looks like. And it is fast. Sadly not as fast as the OnePlus 6, but you can live with it. In about 1 hour, you can get about 80% of charge. Next, this phone also supports dual VOLTE. Now just like any other recently launched phone, even this phone supports dual 4G. That means you can use two SIMs with 4G on the same phone, and it also supports dual VOLTE. So you can use two Geo SIMs on the same phone without any problem. Now going on next, this phone also has DTS surround sound for headphone support and something called Audio Wizard to improve the audio experience on the speaker and headset. If you're an audiophile, you can definitely notice the difference in the sound signature from this phone, and even if you're not an audiophile, you can definitely notice the difference in audio experience with different sound profiles offered by the Audio Wizard. Here's a quick sample.
Asus starts with creation. Come along with passion. It is just the pursuit of perfection. If you know nothing about who we are, then come along and sing with me. Everybody say yes, US.
Next, this phone even offers you free drive storage. Now just like some of the previous Asus phones, you get 100 GB of free Google Drive storage with this phone. Once you power it on, you get this prompt and you have to just redeem it to get that 100 GB of free storage. Next we have Face Unlock. Now after the iPhone 10, almost all the phones launched these days support Face Unlock feature, and so does this phone. Setting it up is pretty easy and it works, but it is not fast. It is kinda slow, just like the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Just for a quick reference, Face Unlock on this phone is nowhere near Oppo F7, Vivo V9 or the OnePlus 6. Those phones are insanely fast when compared to this phone. Next we have incoming call lock. Now once you enable this feature, no one can answer calls on your phone unless they know your phone's password or use your fingerprint. So if you have any security or privacy concerns and don't want others to answer your calls, you can definitely use this feature. I wish every other phone out there supports this feature as well. By the way, you can also answer calls using the fingerprint scanner on this phone. Next we have PageMaker. This is a small feature that allows you to download web pages to read them offline. Once you enable this feature, every time you are browsing on Google Chrome, you can see a small bookmark shortcut on the navigation bar and you can click that to download that page. You can find all the downloaded pages in the download section. Next we have Twin Apps. Now using this feature, we can use two instances of the same application. Let's say you have two WhatsApp accounts or two Facebook accounts. Using this feature, you can use those two accounts on the same phone. Now, unlike MIUI on Xiaomi phones, Twin Apps is not supported for all the applications, but unlike Vivo or Oppo phones, it's not limited to very few applications either, so it is somewhere in the middle. Next, it has Game Genie. Now, you might have seen similar feature on other phones with names like Game Acceleration Mode, Game Suit, and so on, and it is pretty much the same with some extra features. For starters, you can record the screen up to a maximum of 1080p along with the audio. You can also live stream the game on YouTube or Twitch. You can also scale the application right from the navigation bar. And finally, we can even record macros. Now this is the first time I'm seeing any phone out there supporting macros feature. Now let's say you're in a game and you want to do a repeated thing again and again. You can record it as a macro or a command, whatever you want to call it, and execute it again and again in a loop. Next we have the Beauty Live. If you want to use the beauty mode even while you're on a video call or live streaming, we can use it using this feature. Next we have some AI features, and among them, the first one is AI Flex. Now once you enable this feature, your phone will select few applications that you use frequently and optimize them to open them much faster. It probably tries to keep them in memory for more time as well. Now if you're not happy with the list, you can have your own list, but at max, we can only select 10 applications. Next we have Suggested Apps. Now once you enable this feature, every time you open the default app drawer, you get few suggested apps at the bottom. Now these apps are suggested based on your location, based on the time, and how frequently you use those applications. Next, it has AI charging. Now this phone already has fast charging and it can definitely charge your phone quickly. Now that's how the charger works. But we people use it differently. Some people tend to charge their phone for a long time, and some people like me tend to charge it for a very small time, for maybe like half an hour or 1 hour. Now once again, this AI feature learns the way you use your phone and charge your phone, and then tries to adjust the charging speed for better battery life. This is definitely one of the best features on this phone. Next we have Smart Screen On. Now once you enable this feature, your display will not turn off as long as you're looking at the screen. Now this feature will definitely come in handy if you read a lot on your phone, maybe it's a novel or a web page. If you're someone who likes to read a lot on your phone, then this feature will help you out a lot. Next we have AI Ringtone, which is kinda rare feature that I've never seen on other phones. Now once you enable this feature, your phone's ringtone volume will adjust based on your surrounding. Let's say you're in a library or somewhere quiet, ringtone volume will be low, and if you're in a very noisy place, let's say a pub or a movie theater, your ringtone volume will be high. So that's a pretty unique feature. Next we have Kids Mode. Now let's say you have a kid in your home or someone who wants to use your phone to play games. You can configure this Kids Mode, set up a password and limit their usage to few applications, probably games, and block them from making calls or answering calls or sending messages and stuff like that. It's definitely a super handy feature, just give it a try. Next we have Easy Mode. Now for some reason, if this phone is going to be used by some elderly people, then you can enable this mode and all the app icons increase in size and phone becomes much more usable for elderly people. Next we have a quick shortcut to take a screenshot. Now before I talk about that, let me show you how to take a normal screenshot. Just press the volume down button and power button both at the same time to take a normal screenshot. Now for some reason, if you're not able to do that, you can configure your phone to take a screenshot every time you long press the recent apps button. Now I personally wouldn't recommend you using that, but if you take a lot of screenshots and need a shortcut, this will do. By the way, from the screenshot settings, you can change the format of the screenshot from JPEG to PNG as well. Next we have long screenshot. Now you already know how to take a normal screenshot, but for some reason if you want to take a long screenshot, maybe a screenshot of a web page, then this is what you need to do. First take a normal screenshot, and once you're done, click that button to take a long screenshot. By the way, this feature is also not working perfectly right now. Next we have a fingerprint gesture to pull down the notification bar. Now once you enable this toggle, you can swipe down on the fingerprint scanner to pull down the notification bar. you can swipe it up again to send it back. Next we have some motion gestures called the Zen motion. First we have the double tap to wake feature. Now once you enable this feature, when your phone is locked and sleeping, you can double tap the screen to wake it up. Now you can use this feature along with face unlock feature to unlock your phone in a seamless manner. Next we have double tap off screen. Now once you enable this feature, you can lock your phone or put it to sleep by double tapping in an empty area on the home screen, or even an empty area on the lock screen, or even the status bar. Simply double tap and your phone will be locked. Next we have swipe up to wake. Now once you enable this feature, you can simply do a swipe up gesture to wake up your phone. Once again, it doesn't work properly. Next we have flip down to mute. Now once you enable this feature, whenever you're getting a call or alarm, you can simply flip your phone to silent it. Once again, it doesn't work properly. Here's a quick preview where it doesn't work. Here's another example where it works. Next we have hands up. Now once you enable this feature, whenever you're getting a call, you can simply get your phone near your ear to answer the call. Once again, this feature doesn't work properly either. I would suggest you not to use this feature. Next we have some screen off gestures. Like when your phone is locked, you can draw a character C to open the camera application, draw an S to open the front facing camera, draw a Z to open gallery. We have other characters as well, and even change the shortcuts according to our preferences. Next we have one-handed mode. Now once you enable this feature, you can simply double tap the home button to start using the phone in one-handed mode. In this mode, screen size will shrink and the phone will become much more easy to use single-handedly, and you can literally do anything and everything in this mode. You can take pictures, answer calls, and do everything. If you want to go back to the normal mode, you can simply double tap the home button again or use the button at the top left corner. Next we have pocket mode. Now this feature prevents accidental touches when your phone is in your pocket. Basically, whenever the proximity sensor is covered by something, display doesn't respond to any interactions. Unlike many other phones that offer the same feature, on this phone, we see a transparent tint on the screen and display won't respond to any touches. Next we have glove mode. Now for some reason, if you have to use your phone wearing gloves, most of the phones out there do not support it. But on this phone, once you enable glove mode, we can use this phone even after wearing gloves. Next we have battery modes. Few years ago, many phones offered this feature. Like we had performance mode, normal mode, power saving mode, and so on. Nowadays, most of the phones just offer you power saving mode and that's all. But on this phone, we have all these modes. We can even access them using a toggle, and the super saving mode actually works really well. You will definitely see a huge difference in battery life with each battery mode, especially with super saving mode. Next we have AUTOSTART Manager. Now using this page, we can block applications from auto-starting in the background. Now there are many times applications like Facebook or Instagram run or auto-start in the background to get to your feeds, but they end up draining the battery as well. So if you don't want that to happen, you can disable auto-start permission for those applications and further improve the battery life. Next, we can even hide the navigation bar. Now once you enable this feature, you can see a small dot on the left side of the navigation bar. Once you click it, from now on, navigation bar hides automatically. So whenever you are using any application, no matter which application it is, navigation bar will hide automatically. If you want to use any of those buttons, you can simply swipe up from the bottom of the screen to see the navigation bar. On the home screen, this navigation bar is always visible. Now this phone doesn't have iPhone 10 or OnePlus 6 like gestures, but you do get this small feature to get a much more immersive experience. Next, we have an app lock built into the system. Now just like the name suggests, it's a feature to lock applications and it does work without any issues. Now, unlike most of the phones that offer the same app lock feature, on this phone, we can actually unlock a locked application using the password or a fingerprint or even by using our facial data. Now, if you have already set up face unlock and if you try to open a locked application, your phone will immediately try to read your face and then unlock the phone. Now finally, we have Zenmoji, which is just a copy of an emoji from the iPhone. Now once you open this application, you can select any of these animated characters and they will start mimicking your face. I think it is still in beta, so right now it doesn't work all that well. So guys, those were the 40 best features of the Asus Zenfone 5Z that you should definitely know about. Now there are still a lot more features on this phone, like themes and other stuff. So if I missed out on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video. So guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If you're planning to buy this phone, please use the link in the description. It really helps the channel. And if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag #GreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.